Hey everybody, it's Kristine Parma from KristineParma.com, and I am back tonight for your Mindset Reset. These trainings are all about giving you the inner game principles to master your mindset, to be motivated, to be more successful in your business and your life. So I kind of delve into the inner world and more of the energetic principles, shall we say, of having an amazingly abundant, beautiful, and happy life and a thriving business too. So today, I want to share with you guys a topic that's really been on my mind. And it's, can't get any support? Are you feeling unsupported in your life? Are you feeling unsupported in your business? Are you feeling just unsupported as a person? Well, I want to talk to you about the hidden reasons that may be happening in your life and then what you can do about it. I'm going to quickly refresh my screen to make sure I can see all the comments. If you have any comments, please do share them during the live broadcast. I would love to hear from you. You can simply type them below. I can pull them up on the screen and feature them. Or if you're catching this on the replay and you have a question, please type it in the comments section and I will respond to you personally. And for those of you who don't know who I am Kristine Parma, and I help ambitious mama entrepreneurs to create their profitable businesses without sacrificing their sanity, their family, and their health and well-being along the way. Because I believe that you shouldn't have to choose between your loved ones and doing what you love. So if you want to find out more about me and who I am, you can go to KristineParma.com. So let's dive into today's topic. Let me ask you first, are you feeling supported in your life? If you're out there giving it your all, if maybe you're in a 9-to-5 job, do you feel like you're supported at your work? If you're in business for yourself, maybe you're a mom and an entrepreneur like I am, do you feel supported in your business? Do you feel like your family is supporting your dream? If you don't, and I'd love for you to type yes or no below to that question. I will tell you that sometimes I don't feel supported. And the reason I'm talking about today's topic is because of the journey that I've been going through to understand why I feel unsupported and what I've been doing that is pushing that support away. Because really, that's the case in a lot of ways, and it happens in a very sneaky and unconscious way. And this is why I wanted to talk about this. Because if you are the type of person who believes yourself, kind of feels that you're independent, you're strong, you can do it yourself, well, what's that telling other people? What's that telling the universe? That's telling them, hey, she's great. She's great how she is. She doesn't need any support. She doesn't want help. And we don't need to give it to her. From a practical standpoint, if you're used to doing everything yourself, and people have asked you, maybe it's your spouse has asked you, or friends or family have asked you, hey, do you need any help? Can I help with that? And you say, no, I've got it. Then they're going to stop asking, right? They're going to stop asking if you need help because you've got it handled apparently and you don't want or need help. Now, I want to really articulate where that feeling of having to do it all yourself comes from, where it can come from. I'll just speak from my own personal experience because that's all I can talk about, right? It's my own personal experience. I realized that a couple of things were going on with why I wasn't getting the kind of support that I felt I wanted and I needed. And then what was happening, I was feeling frustrated about that and maybe a little resentful or angry around that. And then I started to look at, well, what's going on here? I had an underlying belief that asking for support and receiving support is a sign of weakness. Right? So how many of you can relate? If you can relate, type yes in the comments below. Have you ever thought that or felt that asking for support means you're weak? You know, because you are kind of saying, well, I can't do it all myself. And the American mentality, frankly, is you got to go out there and do it all yourself, prove your worth, work, hard. And if you ask for support and help, then that can make you feel like you're not good enough, right? You're not good enough or smart enough or capable enough to do it yourself. And we can feel like that's a weakness. When in reality, what do the most successful people in the world do? Look at, any successful person in business. They surround themselves with help and support, right? They hire other smart people who can support them in the ways that they need to be supported to make their big vision happen. Whether that's the big vision for their life, whether it's a big vision for a social movement, like Gandhi, Mother Teresa, or, Steve Jobs with Apple. Steve Jobs has a quote that says something like, we don't hire smart people and then tell them what to do. We hire smart people to tell us what to do, because he's essentially saying, I'm allowing the smart people to support us in the way that they are capable of supporting us, supporting the company's vision and making it happen. So, my question to you is, are you allowing people to step in and support your vision? Are you allowing people to step in and support you so that you can better and more easily create the vision for your life? If you're not, look at what some of those underlying fears are. One of those underlying fears, or belief systems that may be sabotaging your success and your happiness is that asking for support means weakness. Another one that I know I had going on, and I'm still working on this, honestly. I'll be truthful here. I'm still working on this, is that if you ask for support from others and you actually get that support, that the support's not going to be good enough. Very real example is when you're, an entrepreneur and you've reached that point where you can't grow anymore because it's just you. And in order to grow, you have to start systemizing parts of your business and start getting support in the form of, other team members, whether it's just outsourcing a few tasks, whether it's bringing on a part-time or a full-time team person, but you have to make that leap. And it can be scary sometimes to make that leap and hire somebody, because especially if you have a fear that they're not going to do it as good as you can. And you know what? Here's the truth. They probably won't do it as good as you can, or they might not. I shouldn't say that. They might even do it better. Let's stay open to that possibility. They might do it even better than you can, especially if you're trying to juggle 100 different balls and do 1,000 different things and your energy is so scattered. They might even do it better. But the fear is, if you hire somebody to do your social media, or you hire somebody to do your website for you, or write your blog posts, or edit your blog posts, or any of the things that you personally actually don't have to be doing in your business, the underlying fear is they won't do it good enough. They won't do it well enough. And so that can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You hire somebody, they do a terrible job, and you're like, see, I knew it. They're not going to do it as well as I can, and so I'm just going to keep doing it myself. That is the way that you sabotage yourself. Because here's the thing, when you need help and support, whether it's in your business or in some kind of part of your personal life, you don't need perfect. Really. I mean, the truth is there are very few things that have to happen perfectly for them to actually work and perform well. You need good enough. And frankly, the person you hired to help you first doesn't have to be the last person you hired to help, with that particular job or task. You might go through a couple of people to find the right and perfect fit for what you're looking for, what task you're looking to be fulfilled or activity that you need done. But the thing is, you need to get started. Perfectionism, getting stuck with the thought or the feeling that it has to be perfect to be right is a success killer. It will stop you dead in your tracks, and it will stop you from trying. It will stop you from trying to get the support you need, and it will stop you from allowing yourself to be supported if that support isn't perfect, if it doesn't come in the perfect package, right? So how many of you can relate to that? If you're on catching this on the replay or live, if you can relate to that, I would love to get a yes or just hear a comment about your thoughts around that. Have you found that you find yourself falling into that perfectionism trap or that not good enough trap that somebody else won't do it as well as you can? I know that was one for me. The other, I think, piece to that is if you take the chance and you ask for help and you get support, whether it's support that's free to you or support that you have to pay for. There, I think, is a fear around being disappointed again. Sometimes you may have been very disappointed by other people in the past. And something that may be getting in your way and sabotaging you is that you're afraid to try again, because if somebody fails you again, quote unquote fails you again, you're going to have that feeling of disappointment. You're like, God, why is it so hard to find anybody good? Why can't I get the kind of support I need? And it's that emotional feeling of disappointment that, psychically you want to avoid. So those are a couple of things that I've identified for myself that were really getting in my way of asking for the kind of support that I wanted and I needed. Now, I think there's kind of two different angles on the support support issue, I guess you would say. From a personal standpoint, maybe you're feeling like your family or your loved ones aren't supportive of your personal vision and your ambitions. Hi, Alfredo. So good to see you. What kind of support, Alfredo says, what kind of support do you want and need? Yeah, well, that is the question, isn't it, Alfredo? It's about being clear on what kind of support it is that you want and need. Thank you for saying that. This is a perfect segue into what I was just about to say around if you're feeling unsupported by your family and loved ones. It could be that you're not getting the support that you feel you need because you haven't expressed what kind of support you want, and if you don't know what kind of support that you want and need, then how can anybody give it to you, right? So, if you kind of put on a business hat and you think from even if it's a personal situation and you think from a business perspective, if you were hiring somebody and you were writing a job description for a supporting role or a team member, what would that include? What kind of support would you want from them? What kind of tasks would they do? What kind of responsibilities would they have? You can almost think of your family in that role too. How do you want your family to show up and support you and support your vision? If you make it clear to them, sometimes that's the only missing piece. They've just been waiting for you to say, hey, I need some support, or I would love for you to help me with this, or I would love for you to support my vision. Now, sometimes it can be, unfortunately, and I've had clients in this situation where their families don't support them. Their families don't support their vision. They think it's, a bad idea what they're doing, starting their own business. They, there's a lot around that, a lot of reasons that there can be that, family members give for not being supportive of your dream or your vision. Usually, and this is assuming that you actually have a loving relationship with your family members, it's out of a need that they want to protect you. They think, oh, it's a bad idea. She's starting this business and, it's so hard out there and it's going to be tough for her to make money. And it's coming from their fears and limiting belief systems. And they want to protect you from the disappointment, from failure, from that hurt that they think will come when things don't work out. So sometimes all it takes to get the support of your loved ones in your family is to enroll them in your vision. Help them see the bigger picture and tell them why it's important to you, how it fulfills you, what need it fills in you, and why you want to be pursuing this dream, why you're doing what you're doing. Sometimes that's all it takes to get the kind of family support and even help that you want or need. And then there's, of course, the other case where family members they're never going to be supportive because they're jealous or envious of that you have the courage to go out and pursue your dream and go after it. And maybe they have a dream inside them that they're afraid to go after. They don't have the courage to actually take action and make it happen. And they see you doing it. And so it's kind of like, when people like to tear down the superstars, they want to, unconsciously, they want to make themselves feel better by tearing you down. At that point, you have to make a choice of, whether you want to engage with that person and maybe change their mind somehow, or just let them be and move on and pursue your vision. But maybe, if you have the perspective of where their lack of support comes from, that it may be coming from their own self-esteem issues or beating themselves up, that they're not brave enough to go out and pursue their dreams, it may give you a little more compassion for that person. And just having that compassion can sometimes shift, the relationship can sometimes shift the energy in the relationship enough to change things. So is this making sense to you all? Does it make sense? Is this helpful to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments in the section below. And if you're just joining me and you don't know who the heck I am, who this person is talking to you, I am Kristine Parma. You can find out more about me and how I help ambitious mompreneurs build their profitable businesses without the sacrifice at KristineParma.com. And today we are talking about if you are not getting the kind of support you want in your life and in your business, why that might be happening and how to fix it. Now, I want to shift over real quickly to a energetic perspective on this situation. And this really came up for me when I was listening to an Abraham Hicks audio. I've been listening to those recently again. I love those. I love them. And there was something that Esther said about feeling lack of support and feeling unsupported that really clicked with me. And it goes back to the beginning of what I was talking about. And if you are, feel like you're the strong and independent type and you're used to doing it yourself, and even if it means working harder and sacrificing and you don't ask for help because that means you're weak, then energetically, what are you telling the universe? Oh, I don't need any help. I don't need any support. I got it. I can handle it all myself. And so what's the universe going to do? Energetically, they'll say, okay, she doesn't want any help. She doesn't need any support. we're not going to give any of it to her. So from an energetic standpoint, you have to start asking for what you need. Even if it's just asking with your energy and allowing then the support to come into your life. When you actually, don't ask for support, and then when somebody, out of the blue rings you on the phone or sends you an email and says, hey, I was just thinking about you, and I've got this project going on that I think would be great for you or great for your business, or I'd love to help you. Don't turn around and say, oh, no, thanks. That's okay, because the help or support that showed up doesn't look like what you thought it would, right? So you want to be clear in what you're asking for and specific in what you're asking for, but then be open enough to receiving love and support and help in a way that you didn't imagine. Because frankly, what you can imagine will, what is right for you is probably a lot smaller in scope than what, I believe God, the divine universe, has in mind for you, has in mind for me, has in mind for all of us. I think our thinking can be too limited because we can't always connect the dots and see all of the possibilities of what could happen. So be open to allowing yourself and to receive that support and that help that you asked for. But it begins with asking. So if you are not feeling supported right now, if you're not getting the kind of help you need, first step is figure out, get clear for yourself on what kind of support you want, what kind of help you want. Now that's number one. Number two, ask for it. Ask your family, ask your friends, ask the universe. Post it on Facebook, what kind of support and help that you're looking for. And you will be pleasantly surprised, I believe, by what shows up. And the people that you thought, you might have thought, oh, nobody's going to help me with this. And help will start kind of crawling out of the woodwork. It'll show up. And then the third step is to actually receive that help and support. And express your gratitude. Give thanks for it also. I guess that's the fourth step. But allow yourself to receive that love, that support, that help that you need to, fix the situation in your life, to grow personally, to grow as a business. Allow yourself to receive it when it shows up. And even if it shows up in a way that you didn't expect. So I hope that you have had some aha moments in listening to today's mindset training, maybe a perspective shift. I know this topic is something that I am continuing to work on myself. And one of the affirmations that I use is I am loved and supported. I allow myself to be loved and supportive, and I receive all of the goodness that life has to offer. I guess those are three. There's quite a few of them that I am focusing on. So come up with your own. You can use the ones that I suggested. Louise Hayes has a wonderful book it's really oriented more towards physical healing. I think it's called You Can Heal Your Life, or You Can Heal Yourself. But the affirmations in there apply to, just as well to non-physical situations also, I believe. And if you would like to be supported and be helped, then I am here for you. And one way that I am here to love and support you in achieving your vision is with a challenge that I will be doing, an online challenge that I will be doing coming up here pretty quick in June. It's going to be happening in mid-June, and it is aimed to help mama entrepreneurs summer-proof their business. Because if you're a mom and you're in business for yourself and you're looking at summer, summer often lacks a lot of the structure that the rest of the year has. And it can often mean a slump in your business during summer, or a much bigger struggle between trying to balance work and actually enjoying summer with your family and having fun. So I am putting together a whole 7-day training that will walk you through step by step how to create your own, bulletproof your business for summer 60-day plan, so that you can actually grow your business during summer and enjoy summer with your family and have a heck of a lot of fun. So if that sounds good to you, if you would love to be supported in that way, I would love to support you in that way. And if you're interested, I don't have sign up open yet, but just type in the comments below, type bulletproof in the comments below, and I will add you to the list to get notified when registration for the free training opens up. So just type bulletproof, or you can type challenge down below. That might be a little bit easier, and I will make sure that you get added to the list. So thank you so much for joining me on today's Mindset Reset training. It has been my honor and my pleasure to share this information with you and to serve you. And as always, if I can be of service to you, you can find me at KristineParma.com or shoot me a message here on Facebook. And if you have any questions or comments with regards to today's topic about finding and allowing and receiving the support that you want and need, then please comment below, and I will, even on the replay, I will respond to you personally. So I wish you amazing success in your business and life. And until I see you Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, I wish you an amazing rest of your day or your evening. Take care and always shine brilliantly. Bye-bye.